Hey y'all, and welcome to India Brady Arts. Today's project is going to be a product review for Craspire. And Craspire has, well, I know that they have good quality silicone molds. I've seen other artists use them, and they look really well made. And really, I mean, they've got some really intricate ones. Um, so go over there and check it out. They've got scrapbooking supplies, candle making supplies, wax. So I'm going to take the pinata, it's blue purple alcohol ink, and I want to try and make this look like glass. And let's see, I've thought about putting rhinestones covering that bow that's on top of the lid of the box and covering that with rhinestones to, kind of make it look, give it some flair. So I've shaken up my alcohol ink and put just a little teeny tiny bit because you can you can put it your coloring in your resin, but you can't take it out. So be careful when adding any kind of additive, whether it be alcohol ink or um, mica, whatever you're going to put in your resin, do a little bit at a time, and then you can make sure that it's the transparency that you want, whether you want opaque or whatever see through. I can't think of the word for it, but okay. So I've mixed up the alcohol ink and the resin really well, and I'm just going to fill these up to the top. Now, I want you to notice something. The color of the resin is barely purple, but I want you to notice what color it is when I get ready to demold. Now, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but this resin has tons and tons of microscopic teeny tiny bubbles in it, and that I was kind of really concerned about that. But this is J Diction's 4-hour demold, and when I came back to demold, the the bubbles had all disappeared. So I was really thankful about that. So I neglected to kind of work that mold to get the bubbles out, but thank goodness it was okay. I didn't have to do that. So this mold here is a foam grip mold, which I've had for probably, oh, let's say a good over a year. I will tell you that. And it's just my go-to mold whenever I have resin left. And I have a ton of blanks. I've got all colors. Yeah. So you can use them as foam grips. You can make magnets, keychains. So I think yeah, I'm gonna just spray my uh, resin down with alcohol to kind of get rid of the surface bubbles. Now I mixed up 6 ounces of resin and I ended up using five. So, or not using five, I used the whole six, but The actual mold itself would take 5 ounces. And as you can see, this is fully cured. And I'm going to pop the foam grip blanks out first. Now notice the color of the resin, which is a lot darker. I don't know why that happens. Now, I don't work with alcohol ink a lot, so I don't know why it would turn darker, but and I know it looks darker in the molds, and you would kind of figure, well, it's in the mold, it's going to look darker. Well, once once the box has been demolded, it's still the same color. And that mold I thought was going to be really difficult to work with, but it's not. Even though it's really thick, it's really wasn't difficult to work with, which is a plus. So I'm just going to pull it away from the sides to maybe loosen up that grip. I mean, it demolded super nicely. Super nicely. I didn't have to tug and tug and tug and tug and spray something down in there to make it release. It was really nice to work with. Now, after you take your projects out of your molds, bend them back to their original shape, because if you don't, they're liable to be um what do you call it? Misshapen when you go back to use it again. So always make sure that you fold your molds back to the original shape. And there we go. So I've got these rhinestones. I forget where I ordered them from because I've had them for quite a while. And they have all different sizes in there from large to like microscopically small. And that's a tray for rhinestones because you can shake it and it's got ridges in it, and it will, when you shake it, it will pop those rhinestones to um, where they're facing up, and it's easier to grab them. And I was gonna go ahead and use UV resin because I thought it might, be or just take a shorter amount of time, but rather than just glue that you use with rhinestones. And I thought, I'm not going to do that because the curves on the top of this lid are they're curvy. I mean, so I was really not worried but concerned that those rhinestones would slide down the sides of that bow. And that's why I changed my mind. Now I want y'all to let me know because this just doesn't look, it looks like it needs something. So let me know in the comments below what I can do with this. Are the rhinestones going to slide If not, then I'll go ahead and use them. But yeah, just let me know. And until next time, dare to create.